We've been grading Justin Fields after every game as the Ohio State quarterback. Now that the Buckeyes are 6-0, we're going to give Jk-dobbins, the running back, a grade for his first half of this season. Nathan, first, what are the stats? We just checked them out.
We had 1 per carry. I don't know why we even say them out loud. 7.1 per carry, 826 yards, 6 touchdowns on the ground. You want his receiving? 7 receptions, 44 yards, 1 score.
So 826 yards in 6 games.
Correct.
Good. That's really good. We know last year he barely got over 1,000 yards. We know all the last year Jk-dobbins stuff. So this year, 6 games in, what's your grade, Steven?
I'm giving him an A. He's had 1 bad game, and it was the first game of the season, and Ryan Day called that a funky type of a game, some things that just didn't go the way they thought that they were going to go. Since then, he's been, 7.1 yards per carry every season. He's had, other than that, like Miami of Ohio only got the ball 8 times because that was Miami of Ohio, and we knew how that was going to go. He was only going to play the first half anyway. But in games where he's played a decent amount of snaps, he's 7.1 yards per carry. That's an A type of season.
What did he say? Did he give himself a grade for tonight?
Yeah, I did ask him. He said B+, and when I asked him why, he gave the most football answer in the world. Well, there were some tackles I could have broken, some holes I could have hit. Dude, you're averaging 7.1 yards per carry, and you have 826 yards in 6 games. You're an A, okay?
And that was it was like 4 point something last year for his yards per carry. What's your grade?
It's an A, and it's in the high 90s, so I guess maybe that would be an A+. I mean, he's given Ohio State absolutely everything it needed to get from him. It needed him to come into the season and establish himself as a true number 1 stud lead back, and he's done that. And I thought one thing that stood out to me tonight was, Master Teague's been mixing into these games earlier and earlier as the season's gone on. And I think as early as the second quarter last week in Nebraska, he played back-to-back series, including that one where he tore off a 55-yard touchdown drive on 3 plays all by himself. Tonight, Master Teague was a very late addition to this offense because when this game was close, when this game was still in doubt, and they knew that they had to have production on offense, Jk-dobbins is the guy they had to have on the field that whole time. And that said something to me.
And if Jk-dobbins is getting an A, though, for some of our listeners on Buckeye Talk and some of our readers, I think Master Teague would have to get an A+, because there are still some people who keep asking about, is Master Teague like that? It's like, they have 2 good running backs. No. Jk-dobbins is better.
He doesn't have to get an A+.
No, I know.
He can get like a B.
I know. He's doing well. But Jk-dobbins is the guy. It's an A. It's an A. Mark D'Antonio, I know, joked in the post-game news conference for Michigan State. I think he had said someone had told him before this game that Jk-dobbins getting up to 215 pounds, adding some bulk, had lost some speed. And Mark D'Antonio after the game was like, yeah, I didn't see that. Didn't look like he lost any speed to me. We talked about it last week, too. He looks fast on the edge. When they're stringing him out on some of these runs, he really is getting to the corner and getting upfield, and they aren't just pounding him up the middle all the time. They're letting him get a little space and then turn the corner, and then he really turns the Jets on.
Well, see, I thought he had trouble getting the edge tonight, actually, against Michigan State, at least consistently. I mean, they've got really good defensive ends on this team. Tough to get to the edge. What I thought that was killing him was anytime he got any kind of a gap on that line and he got into just the start of that second level, he was done. He was gone. And that's where he was getting a lot of yards tonight.
Nathan Baird, Steven Means, Doug Lesmerises. Try our text thing, cleveland.com/OSU to read our stories. You can find out about my texts, 14-day free trial. Texts all the time about this 6-0 team. Don't you want that? More coverage all week at cleveland.com.